won all the marbles there at the Show Me Shootout.
We saved the best for the last on the grandstand track, Ron.
Ford, where's my Ford people? Any Ford people in the house? Make some noise. Last truck. Got to be 316.33 Marty Selman in a rat trap.
It's right on that number, Ron. Right on that number.
$314.77. He'll move into the number 2 spot. Give you the rundown here in just a moment. Nice hook for Marty Selman.
All right, fans, if you want to grab something to eat, go grab yourself a Coltrane energy drink. Go see the people at Schaefer Oil. We're going to do a quick intermission here. Get the sleds resetted for the rest of the show. We're going to throw some swag. We're going to talk to some of our sponsors.
p.m., actually a little after 7, but Outlawed Live with Ron Stone, Jason Schultz, my co-host, and the co-host tonight, Mike Idle, on board.
Is that like Coco? Is he like Coco?
He's the Coco host.
Mike, that's your new night. Dude, that video, that opening video that we have for your show, Ron, that's one of the best videos that Chandler's ever made. I get pumped up every time. So I
wish I had like long hair so I could flip my hair. I want to jam.
We're just going to let the Iowa State Fair just kind of play on Outlaw TV. If you guys see something that you want me to turn up, I'll just push the volume button, but we'll let Outlaw Pulling TV play there. OutlawPulling.tv will be playing at PRI next Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at the Outlaw booth with GMS, the Beer Money Pulling team. Check us out. I think we're on the floor, Lucas Oil Stadium. Outlaw's going to be there. Coltrane Energy is going to be there. My new tractor is going to be there. And then Gene's Machine. Brent Payne's building a new light super. You're going to see more Brent Payne on the Outlaw circuit next summer. I'm not trying to drop any rumors, but he plans on
is better known as GMS, right?
GMS Machine, yeah.
GMS.
And Brent Payne, the Color of Money, who's where is the Color of Money now?
Voodoo Deer.
Voodoo Deer. So
that
leads
through.
Ron, the hardest puller's name to announce an outlaw out of all the outlaw members or pullers is what? What's the last name that's the hardest? Is it Bohoji boy? Bohoji boy?
It's
Frank?
Well, Habbage.
What's that, Mike?
I said when I was announcing at Wisner and I was working with you and I didn't know a lot of the names and I announced it at Bo Habbage and you kind of leaned over and you're like, it's Boa Boy. So that one's stuck with me ever since.
Boa Boy is how you pronounce it. Anytime, and there's a lot of those names in Nebraska, guys, that's hard to pronounce. And you look at them and it sounds nothing like it looks. So, yeah, if you have any question, I mean, it's best to just go find them and ask them to make sure. And then you get a real common name that looks common and you butcher it. So, there's Missouri State Tractor Pullers. There was a team there that I announced. Missouri State Tractor Pullers for several years was their primary announcer. And they had a four-wheel drive puller there, Schlesselman, and that's how I pronounced it forever. And I think it was the guy's mom maybe came up to me one time, like years into my announcing gig there, and said, "You know, it's pronounced Schlesselman." I was like, "No, I did not." So Waddle is a tough one, Jason. That's Chvatal, Jim Waddle. Looks like Schvatal, but nope, it's Waddle.
Mike, this is good homework for you, kiddo. So
I've got my app up right now, and I'm trying to scroll through names. They're gonna trip me up. I'm looking for them as we speak.
For those of you joining us, this is the George Beyer Show, which means that we don't have a guest. Anytime we don't have a guest, it's the George Beyer Show for the rest of our lives. So it's just going to kind of be a fun BS and kind of a night. It's a good time of year to do this. If you have any questions about what's going on, we got the Iowa State Fair playing in the background here. And then across the bottom, I have a trivia question. I want to know what state you live in and what is the craziest name of a city in your state. Like Intercourse, Pennsylvania. That'd be a perfect example. I want to know. So what state do you live in? Hey, Sarah. What's the craziest Wisconsin city that we can think of? We live in Wisconsin.
Well, I know the answer for Mike right now, and that's what, Uranus, Missouri?
Is that it's where literally there's a fudge factory there. Because that's like the whole play on things. I think that's it. Well, my hometown trips up people. My hometown, the hometown of Beyer, that gets a lot of people. It looks French.
Oh, it's not like Bevier?
Beyer.
Jason and I always lean towards the French pronunciation.
That's what everybody presumes, but no, just good old rednecks.
Oh, how about a vase, Missouri?
Yep. My wife did some teaching there at one point. Looks like Oxface.
Yeah, Auxvasse, Auxvasse, pronounced Avaz, Missouri.
And then Missouri's famous for all the towns that are spelled like other big cities but pronounced different. Like there's Cairo, Egypt, but that's Cairo, Missouri, and then there's Milan, Italy, but that's just Milan. So
yeah, pronounced there.
Nimrod, Minnesota. Nimrod. I like that. That's like Mini Rod, Minnesota. I like that.
There's Worms, Nebraska. We talked about that. That's passed that a couple times last
All
summer.
right. Somebody say that. Chica, Macamaco, North Carolina. Chica.
Anything in the South is all those southern names there.
Chickamacamo, something like that.
Russ Dostal just checked to me, and it's Boha Boy. Boha Boy.
What? I have it. I have the actual pronunciation because I had a conversation with Frank and his son Kurt. And it's almost like you're getting ready to say bowl. It's boy is how you pronounce it.
Yep. So
I've studied it. I've worked on this, guys.
This is going to be the name show. Tonight's is the name show. We're going to talk about crazy city names, polar names. My singer. Everybody, he's my new trailer mate. Mm-hmm. I'm his new trailer mate. Like I'm the co-host of the My Singer trailer. But
Super Farm, Rodney Yelichka.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
That's Brent Myrody. Drives every once in a while for Cotton Candy Team on the two-wheel drive every once in a while. He lives in Nebraska, and it does not look like Myrody at all.
What's it look like?
Oh, speaking of names in the Cotton Candy Team, and I've met these people several times, and I need to line this out 100%.
Pascal?
There's two Camerons, and are they both? And they're both the Neves. Are they both Cameron Neves? There's an uncle and a nephew.
No, one is Pascal.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's Cameron Neves, Cameron Pascal, and then Seth Markey.
They drive the two-wheel drive. Those two boys.
Okay.
Is Cameron a nephew, or is he like a cousin or a family friend? I can't remember.
I think he's a nephew, I want to say.
I know Seth is.
Okay, maybe I'm getting them confused, and maybe Seth is the nephew.
So this is now the family show. We went from the name show to the family show.
I'm going to send you the picture that George sent me because he's got proof tonight, guys.
The frozen pipe.
He's got proof. Yeah. He's making all that money to fix that tractor this winter.
He's got to get signed up for the Pullers Championship too. He's one of the original invites. I know Gary Barrett's already signed up because all the initial invites you have until the end of December. And Mike, I'm gonna have you actually help me with that a little bit. Just remind people of the initial invites. I went live this afternoon about 4:30. But if you're initially invited because you did well in points or you won the TPC last year, you have until the end of the year to pay your $500 competition fee. If you don't, then that spot is released and it turns into a fan vote spot. And Gary Barrett and Georgie Porgy Puddin' Pie are the 2 4-1s out of the Outlaw stable there. Okay, here we go. Zook. Doug Voth is early tonight. Normally comes on like the last 10 minutes of the show.
Okay.
Oh, I saw a funny Facebook post today. It said, "Hello, darkness, my old friend. Why do you come to me at 4 p.m.?" Ron, sing that in your sexy singer voice. Hello, darkness, my
what is that, like Simon and Garfunkel? Yeah. Hello, darkness, my old friend. Yeah.
Then say, "Why do you come to me at 4 p.m.?"
One of those. That's one of those. Yeah. I think they did a lot of acid before they wrote a lot of that stuff back then. That was.
Yeah, Joe Rogan was talking about like the best car designs and the best, like, everything was like when like the engineers, like, they partied all day. Like the best car designs, the Corvettes, the 60s and 70s. That's why Europeans still got it figured out. They drink all day long. They're better at it than we are.
So
Ron Stone. Oh, hey, Eric, are you guys coming to the Pullers Championship? Thornton's, guys, get signed up. Claypools and Thornton's are auto invites. So
auto invites. I like that.
So, but if you don't accept
all those invites are out now for the championship, so we know what
Outlaw. The initial invites are out.
When's the cutoff? They have to have their RSVP, their response, their cash by what time?
By the end of the year, they have to go to the pullerschampionship.com, click the registration link, and then basically put their information in and pay the $500. So Thornton's and Claypools are in. So Klein
Hesselink. Now, I'm assuming I've been saying that right all along. I've never talked to them, and they've never came up and yelled at me. So I'm assuming I pronounced that right when I say Klein Hesselink.
A fun one that I appreciated hearing announced this year was Daly. Is it Daly Paulson?
Yeah.
Does it always remind me of John Daly? So I didn't realize until her brother was on the show last week that was spelled. I would have D-A-I-L-Y is how I would have spelled it, but I wasn't even close.
Doug Meisinger says Eric has to ask his boss if he can go to the Polish Championship. Hey, Dad, can I go to the Polish Championship? So
I think he's talking about his soon-to-be married boss.
Oh, I was unaware. That's right. When is their wedding?
I think she set it up for during Rock Valley. I think.
No, she didn't. She knew better. She knew better than that.
Oh man!
I think I seen something where her grandpa's trucks were for sale here recently. Modified four-wheel drives. Did you see that, Mike? In California, Missouri, the Sneaky Snake. Did you see that? I swore I saw that was for sale.
It was on. I found it on Facebook Marketplace, and I didn't put it together. It was on Facebook Marketplace because that's right within my scope of things. And I wanted to send it to Jason because I wanted to identify the truck as a home, and I heard that he does home loans. So if that truck identifies as a home and he does home loans, then we've got a four-wheel drive truck.
Can we do that? Because technically, you could sleep in it, Jason. You could park it.
I need a running water and electricity, guys.
We can make that happen, Mike. Let's make it happen.
We've got a camper, we can park it near the camper.
I'm going to order an appraisal and say, I need you to appraise a pulling truck.
Yeah.
The problem is we're going to need 4 comps, so we're going to need 4 other comparables to make sure that you're not overpaying for this pulling truck, guys. Hey, serious question. You guys see I got my grandpa's pool table in the basement?
I didn't see it. I heard about it.
Okay, so what would be a badass like pool light? So Doug, who works for me, Doug Borth, the second Doug, because Doug Meisinger is now the number 1 Doug.
Poor Doug. So Doug he's co-Doug.
He's co-Doug. No, there's got to be a number 1 Doug. Doug thought if I got an old tractor hood, Ron, and we somehow mounted it to the ceiling and then put some lights underneath it.
Yeah, that'd
be kind of cool. Because you've seen those tables. You've seen those tables like where people take like a Chevy 350 and then they put a glass top on it and stuff like that. So
I just saw one of those on TikTok today. It wasn't growing corn 2020, but it was the other guy. He's just called like Tractor Guy or something like that. And he had.
So I'm looking for some awesome ideas for above my grandpa's pool table. It's in my basement.
This guy had a 40/20 hood.
You had the new felt and everything put on it already?
Yeah. So Victor, Iowa. Which, if anybody wants to move to Victor, Iowa, Grandma and Grandpa's house is for sale. It's a neat old house. I wish if I didn't love tractor pulling so much, I'd go buy the house, but I can't afford Grandma and Grandpa's house and a diesel super stock. So I made the decision. We're going tractor pulling.
Priorities.
And they disassembled the table. So it's an 1890 Brunswick, 9-foot table, triple slate, 3-piece slate. Grandpa was a Depression. He lived during the Depression. So he actually had storage built under this pool table. When they disassembled it, they found sugar and beans.
Wow.
So I mean, that's crazy. So that pool table had been in Grandpa's basement since 1971, and then his dad had it also. So they disassembled it, took it back to the shop. They redid the bumpers, and then it's like a rosewood. It's so cool, you guys. And and then it took them 8 hours to install it. Like, they took their time. They leveled out to 5/1000 of an inch. I mean, it's legit. And then it's pretty neat. So I kind of want to make a cool tractor pulling pool room in my basement a little bit. So,
cool.
Yeah.
I was thinking the felt, you could have had the Outlaw logo in the middle of the felt.
Well, that's why I bought the quilt at the Banquet. So, and this is and I gave away the John Deere one, remember, guys? So, but there.
Hey, you know what would have been absolutely money down in that room is a dartboard.
I tried it, but it got real expensive.
Well, I mean, come on, man. You've got to commit to these things.
Yeah, I quit bidding at $2,500. Again, Mike, I got a diesel super stock, so I can't be doing that kind of stuff. So
Dominica leaned over to me, and we were supposed to bid on that pedal tractor, and I said, Jason Wayman's bidding on that, and I do not run a diesel shop. I'm not going toe-to-toe with that guy.
I love it.
Have you met his little boy, Mike or Jay? Either one.
No, I haven't. I know that he's a proud dad, and he speaks about it almost any chance he gets. So.
You start talking to him about tractor pulling, and it's about like talking to Jason. Once you start talking to him, and you talk about tractor pulling, just sit back and listen. His face lights up, and he starts talking.
Love it.
It's funny, but yeah, that
Mark Hammond is saying Pabst Blue Ribbon. Mark's a fantastic contributor to Outlaw Facebook, Heartland, and the Big Outlaw. Appreciate that. Yep, that'd be cool. Ben Kane's watching from San Diego, California. Doug says a Rolls-Royce Griffin valve cover would be cool.
That would be cool. I want one of those. Shoot.
That would be cool. Julie from Holganic says an old side shield from the Remedy. So the problem is I've been dumb and I've sold them all with the tractors.
I thought you were going to say the old side shield's in about 9,000 pieces.
No, it's got some dents in it from the turbo. But
dimples in it, does it? Yeah.
The side, well, it did what it's supposed to do then.
No, honestly, the safety when she blew up in Wisner, the safety was there. So.
Yep.
The mayor of Ravenna, Nebraska is checking in. Marty will be in your town. Diesel Supers are there June 1, June 2 to start off the 2024 Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling season. Marty Samuelson is the mayor of Ravenna, Nebraska.
Busy with something else. What did you say, June what? What's that again?
June 1st and 2nd.
That's not right.
Yeah, it is. It's that Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
I think it's the next weekend.
Yeah.
What?
Because my wife, the first thing Dominica said is, "Are we free on our anniversary?" And I said the season starts the week after. And I've been married for a handful of years, and I think our anniversary is around there somewhere. So I think I'm right.
Well, I'm surrounded and buried in calendars, schedules, and contracts right now. So that's why I heard that. And I
think it's the 7th and the 8th or something like that. 6th, 7th. Mm-hmm.
Okay, but I'm wrong. I make mistakes.
Something else, maybe.
First time for everything, Jason. First time for everything.
Don't encourage him, Mike. We may have something else going on that first weekend, which would be the 31st and the 1st. So we used to pull Stompers.
I'm not even going to say it. I'm not even gonna, you already know what I'm going to say, and I'm not going to say it.
What?
As long as it's not Monette, Missouri, Ronald.
Monet. Yeah, no worries.
Monet.
That's a sister city to Bevier, Missouri. Just saying.
It's a long ways down there. That's Southwest Missouri. We're Northeast Missouri.
So I figured out how you judge how much fun you have at the Outlaw Banquet is when you check your credit card the week after the Outlaw Banquet.
Let's not talk about that.
I vaguely remember that. The Domino's pizza's there. It's all good. Yep.
I want to have a banquet once a month. That is the most fun I have had outside of being at a physical tractor pull. That's the most fun I've had with tractor pulling.
I can't. My liver and my checkbook cannot afford either.
If we can use Mike's credit card, I'm game.
Yeah, them teacher salaries. I need interest rates. Mike, I need interest rates to come down a little bit if we're gonna have a banquet every month. I need to get a little busier. So.
Yeah, I was on my checking account online. I was like, can this be right?
Yeah,
how is
mine's just Margaritaville.
Yeah, I guess 2 car payments will just have to wait. I guess.
They don't come take it till 90 days, Ron. You got time.
Sweet, thank you. That's awesome.
They're like, do you want a receipt with this transaction? No, that just reminds me I spent money. just keep your receipt.
Are you kidding? I was lucky to even get my credit card back after having it up there at the bar.
I found my room, which was great. I walked right to it. So that was, that was always a win. But it was, no, in all seriousness, there's 475 people, almost 500 people, and 500 of the most passionate pulling people I've ever been around. I mean, that was a lot of fun. People who have a lot of energy and a lot of, just kicking down the door to make things happen. There's a lot of good energy at that banquet. A lot of good energy in the Outlaws period. That was a great time.
I don't know what that question means, Ronald.
I do. Remember the girl that was trolling?
The Italian model.
Logan, or not Logan, but Lane last week.
I forgot. I blocked one troll already tonight, but they're like, good news. Hello, winners. Congratulations on being on today's winner. Fill in your personal data on the registration link to claim the prize. So if you fall for that, any of you don't deserve to have internet access. Okay.
I shouldn't have.
They should take away your internet. Surely you should have old turbo housings to make the light fixtures out of Jason. Now that would be cool. I surely have old turbo housings.
Chuck mentioned pulling Stompers when he was a kid at the pub on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, raise your hand if you had Stompers. I had Stompers.
Dude, I had tons of Stompers.
They had pulling Stompers were the best. I'm gonna go find some of those eBay and put up on the screen.
Dude, they're $100 a piece on eBay.
Well, that doesn't mean you have to pay for them. I
sold about 30 of them for like $50 with a sled about 15 years ago.
I sold my trumpet from high school to buy an amp for my first car stereo. So.
Did you guys have I was actually play school, and it was an operational sled that came with like Orange Blossom Special and Bigfoot or something like that.
Well, Black Gold, Orange Blossom Special, Bigfoot, and King Crazy. It was a funny car, 2-wheel drive. All those were through play school. Yes, had them all.
I've normally got it sitting right here, but my son came up and grabbed it because he was going to have a tractor pull today. So
here's the Shaper Stomper official competition pull set. Love 4x4 boxed untested, $217.
Wow. Yeah, that side to the right, that's at my parents' house. They've got one. We've got one just like that up at mom and dad's house.
Before they came out with that sled, my dad built me one. Before the Shopper came out with that sled.
What's the Shopper reference? I don't remember that.
That's the name brand. That's who made it. That was the company that made the Stompers.
I'm going to get back to the Stompers.
Look up Micro Machines Modifieds.
I built a few Stompers when I was a kid. I'd buy 6-volt motors from Radio Shack, and I would run a train power pack, 18 volts, the train transformer for a Tyco train. And that was really cool because they would really scream, and then you'd see a big flash, and it would blow the motors. You just stick another motor in. And
modified pulling tractor. We found these the other day. Yeah.
Oh.
Guess what? Santa is bringing my boys this year. you're looking at it. So
You're shopping on
Banner
eBay,
Brothers,
are you?
Banner Brothers.
yeah.
I don't recognize that tractor. Anybody recognize that
They
one?
had there's the Sassy Massey was one of them. They had a Sassy Massey. So, hey guys, my son's heading over to play practice, so I'm gonna have to go down and be with the 2-year-old boy. So,
All right, buddy.
Yeah, well, you're missing a very educational experience tonight, Mike. So don't worry.
I'll continue watching, but unless you want a 2-year-old bouncing around, I'm gonna have to switch into dad mode here for a little bit. So,
All right,
All
buddy.
right, take care, buddy.
thanks for having me on, guys.
Russell, the biggest thing is just getting the calendars to everybody. We've talked about it. Kurt and I did, and Ron. The biggest thing is just getting calendars to everybody. So I'm gonna get some extra calendars, and we're gonna do some giveaways on this show. We'll do that after the holidays. Once whatever's left after PRI, if there's any calendars left, Russ. But that's definitely something that we can do. Chuck Cleveland says, "Oh man, I wasn't a kid." Laugh out loud. Chris Slaughter says, "I still have one and sled in a drawer at my parents' house." Chris Slaughter, get that baby out and some AA batteries and start stomping.
Yeah.
Mark Ham, my brother built modified stompers with popsicle stick chassis and Radio Shack motors. That's awesome.
Yeah, I had some pretty killer ones that used to melt the gears. Of course, when you're pushing 18 volts through a 1.5 volt motor, it's hard on motors and gears.
Would this have been Venture Green, maybe?
I don't know.
I'm not a historian of. I am of like tractors that I remember, but I'm not like crazy like Dan Mayer. We should get him on. He'd be like, "Oh, that's 1972." Da, 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 da.
He is pretty quick with that stuff too.
Oh, he's like Rain Man. He's amazing. Was that the Sassy Massey?
Doesn't look like it.
No, because it said
It
Sassy.
didn't have any outboard motors
Rattle and
like
Knox.
that. No.
Yeah, that was Rattle and Knox. Chris Slaughter says you could wire a 9-volt battery in and they would really scream like that.
9 volt ain't nothing, but it would eat those 9 volt batteries up like that, though, Chris.
So did you see Blake Ott posted those pulling sleds? And I messaged him like right away, and they were gone because I said I want 3 of them because I want to do a giveaway at PRI, which we're going to, Ron, and then we're going to do a giveaway at Shipshawana and a giveaway at Louisville at our merchandise booth for Beer Money Pulling Team. But I think Blake might be in the pulling sled making business now. Miniature sleds, guys, don't worry. So
yeah, those are the perfect size for Erdl tractors too.
Yeah,
man, I would have loved to have one of those when I was a kid. I had a bunch of Erdl tractors.
I would have carpet tractor pulled that until.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Stompers, man. Stompers were the bomb diggity back in the day.
They were. I had a bunch of them. Yeah, they were cool. I had some friends and some cousins that actually had them too, and we'd have a huge stomper pull on the weekend sometimes, and we'd have 100 of those things. Different classes. We had 2-wheel drives and 4-wheel drives. And
what are your pulling memories, Ron, as a kid? Like, what do you remember going to? Like, you've heard my stories about Ernie Ropp a million times. So,
my early memories are actually there was some pretty big names that used to. Taze Valley Tractor Pullers is where I first went to a tractor pull, and honestly, I don't remember the first one I went to because I was so young. It's just like I remember bits and pieces when I was 3 or 4 years old, being at the pulls. Probably the most vivid memory was of Art Arfon's Green Monster tractor. It was a T53 turbine, one of the first to do it. Land World speed record holder, Art Arfon's too. But he was one of the first to run the great big rear fender that covered the rear tires.
Okay.
And he had a huge green monster painted on that. And I was literally scared of that tractor because of that monster on there. That's how young I was. And I can remember how cool it was seeing the tractors blowing smoke rings. I thought that was the coolest thing in the world when they'd idle up to the line. But there was some big names there. There was Big Ollie, Don B, McVeigh, Lloyd McVeigh. I think the Banners even came down there once or twice. Sullivan's came there a lot in the 80s.
Okay.
Wayne and Wayne Sullivan, Eddie Sullivan.
They were always 2-wheel drive pulling back then, right?
They had a tractor. They had the Kentuckian, which had Rodex.
Kentucky's been around that long.
Yeah, and it had the same Massey, Harris sheet metal on it. Man, I could pull up some of that. Wish I could pull up some of that video for you right now. But yeah, I even used some of that video when we went to Kentucky.
Okay. Yeah, you did. Yeah. I remember that now.
But yeah, that was. And when I got a little bit older, started going to some different pulls around the state of Ohio. Went to the Ohio State Fair and Fort Recovery and some NTPA stuff, and then Ohio State tractor pullers, Circleville. And Ohio State Fair was huge back then. It was a big deal. But yeah, a lot of big name pullers used to come down there and pull at that little track. And you talk to them now, y'all see the Sullivan and stuff talk about that track, and it's like, oh yeah, that was the coolest place to go pull. And you see people talking about these historic names and pulling, and be like, oh, I seen him when I was 6 or whatever, at Taze Valley. Pretty cool.
Marty, yeah. So we bought the high-tech redneck. We bought that tractor, and you'll see that at all of the Outlaw hooks for diesel supers next year, as long as it's running, and God willing, it stays running. So, but yeah, that's a tractor we bought. It'll be on display at PRI with the Outlaws in our booth next weekend, December 7th through the 9th. So
that's such a cool show. Such a cool show. I seen where I think John Force is going to be there.
Yeah, I saw John last year. We saw Tony Stewart. We saw all the Street Outlaw guys. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. And Kurt Van Beek's going to be there too. So. Oh yeah, there's your headliner right there. You say John Force, I think Kurt Van Beek right away, don't you, Ron?
Well, yeah, I was building up to the headliner. You know what I mean? The crescendo.
So with John Force like the opening act, and then Kurt Van Beek's the.
Yeah. I met him when I was probably 11, 12 years old at a no longer existing drag strip in Kansas City International Raceway. I had him match racing with Kenny Smith. And I remember I got the hero card. I don't know where it's at today, and had him sign it, but wish I still had that.
My Uncle Paul was a crewman or a mechanic for Michael Brotherton, the Speed of Light top fuel dragster in the 80s. And I got to go to Brainerd, Minnesota, go to a race. And I met John Force, and that's back when he was sponsored by Jolly Rancher. Remember Lori Johns? She had the pink dragster. He handed me 2 bags. He was like, here you go, Jason. I was like, 10 pounds of Jolly Ranchers. And it was so funny.
Yeah, it was like Jolly Rancher and what, Coca-Cola or something?
Yeah, I can't remember. Because that's when he was always Funny Car, and then Lori was sponsored by Jolly Rancher as well. So with her rail. That's back when I remember they set the record for like one day. The Michael Brotherton's team did. They went 282 mile an hour in the quarter mile. Now they're running 370 in an eighth. It's insane. So
yeah, they run 1,000 feet now. Top Fuel does.
Okay.
So an eighth would be 660 feet.
660.
Quarters 1320, and Top Fuel runs 1,000 since. They made that rule immediately after. Oh shoot! I don't know why his name escapes me. I think it's his brother that just won the championship this year. But he got killed, and they immediately went from quarter to 1,000 feet to try to slow him down. But yeah, that's insane. The speeds they're limited to that. If they just opened it up and said make the fastest vehicle possible, they'd be going even faster,
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's
the slicks are, the tires are limited to a certain width, and if they can't go over that width, can't go over the height. The engines are of course limited, I saw a stat. Now this is when they were running a quarter mile. This is back in the 80s. That if you stood in the middle of the drag strip and watched the light turn green and immediately ran for the edge, you wouldn't make it. You'd get run over. A quarter mile.
That's awesome. That's a good way of saying it. I like that. Any info on the people that bought Rod Spasota's tractor? Will it be running next year? I didn't know he sold it.
They did, and that tractor was running really good at the end of the season too, by the way. So best I've seen it run in a long time. So yeah, hopefully we'll see that tractor out a lot more. What's going on in the rumor mill? Let's talk rumor mill here, Jason. Let's talk. Well, we know that the Van Beeks are building a Pro.
Yep. We know Kurt Korman's building a Pro. The Red Rock guys are building a Pro.
Building a Pro, yeah.
Kurt Paulson, that's right. He sent me a picture on Facebook. I forgot about that. Yes, I bought it. It'll be out and about. That a boy, Kurt.
Now, Kurt Paulson. Which Paulson clan are you related to? Because we found out last week that there are different.
Yeah, nobody likes Lauren Paulson. So that's that stripper over there in Italy. I mean, female model. That's what she was. Yeah. He texted me after the show and he appreciated me sending. How did he say that? He goes, "Thank you, Jason." Smiley face.
Yeah. Now,
Lane did good last week.
Yeah, he did. No, I guess there's 2 or 3 Paulson clans running around in Iowa and Nebraska. Kind of like there's 2 Van Beek clans running around in Rock Valley.
There's only one KVB though.
KVB.
How many people are going to PRI? I'm curious about, or who's been to PRI?
Are you just rubbing it in that you're going to PRI? Is that what you're doing right now?
I'm promoting the Outlaw brand. That's my job. I'm the social media or something. I don't know what my title is, but my job is to promote the Outlaw brand on social media. Rob, don't be mad. So where are you going to be? You have the Iowa Fair Convention?
Yep, the Iowa Fair Convention. I know you're jealous because I'm going to be there.
Well, I mean, I would go to Iowa. I'm a big fan of Iowa. Big fan. The Hawkeyes whooped up on Nebraska. Or the Big Ten. Now we're going to go get pounded on by Michigan in front of a national audience. It'll be a good time. So. Yeah.
Well, you never know.
Mike Idle, who is on his way to play practice with the Suns, says rumor Shremix 5.0 Pro Stock. I've heard rumors about they have a light Super Stock Ag. That's an Ulmer shop. I've heard rumors of the 5.0 Pro.
Yeah, heard they were campaigning a Stomper next year.
Yep, in the light unlimited class. Yep, they're gonna run point against Bodiat. Do you think Wes Severs can get Otts? Because he was gaining on him.
Yes.
I do too.
It was his rookie year. He was just getting things figured out with a rookie with a brand new setup. Once they got it figured out, he still had some learning throughout the season. But man, when it had the right gear and he was hooked up, yeah, that class you just never know. I think the twin LS motors in that class. That guy is it's going to be tough.
Have any Outlaw Super Farms signed up for Shipshawana? I know Clint was letting them in this year. Have you gone through the list?
Oh no, I haven't.
I need to do that.
So they're going to run the Outlaw setup. They're allowed to run the Outlaw setup.
Yeah, and they don't have to change anything. And obviously, I think they have a weight disadvantage. But I know you talked about it when we had him on the show.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't know that was.
Olsen says Jeremy might be related to Jeremy. We might be related, but haven't sent it in for analysis. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Jeremy's all right.
Megan, I'll be at PRI.
Rub it in, Chuck. Rub it in. Yeah.
Brandon Lorizek, what about Cowtown Showdown? What's the latest on Cowtown Showdown, Mr. Stone?
Right now, I don't think we got to have an anchor sponsor, and it's a lot of work, and Ken is he's got a lot of irons in the fire, so it's just me and Ken said to help out some, but I tell you what, it's a big responsibility, an indoor pool, and
it is.
You have to have a team of people helping you out, or you'll lose your mind trying to figure it out. Plus, if it were to happen, it would be a smaller scale show. Can't do the 6 sessions. It's just so expensive and labor intensive. That event is. Love doing it. People love the venue and everything, but when it's all over, when you feel like you've lost 10 years off your life at the end of it in a week, it's like, wow.
I always feel like I have mono after an event, like a week.
Yeah, that first Cowtown about killed me, I think.
Yep. You still have your hair's been gray ever since.
I know, right?
Marty, don't say you gave it to us. It's just like the Bears Vikings last night. You win, you win, you lose, you lose. Don't be a sour Nebraska fan.
Wait a minute. You actually watched the Bears Vikings game last night?
After the Let's Grow Pulling podcast, about 10:30, I shut her down, and I caught the end of the game. And as a Packer fan, I wanted the Bears to win because the Packers suck this year too, but they don't suck as bad as the Bears. But then the Bears took down the Vikings, so that moved the Packers up. I think they're a half game out of first now. No, not behind the Lions, but the Packers beat the Lions.
You're a cheesehead?
Yeah, from Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. Well, guess who you play this week, buddy? Guess who you play?
Probably the Chiefs, the way you're talking. So, no, when you grow up in Iowa, depends where you live. There's no pro teams. That's why I'm a big Iowa Hawkeye fan. We're kind of where you live. If you're in Eastern Iowa, you're kind of a Bears fan. For Northeast Iowa, you're kind of Packer. And then Northern Iowa is Minnesota Vikings. And then Southern is all Chiefs. So
you like Western Kansas, Western Nebraska. They're Donkeys fans, you know.
Donkeys.
Get out there, so.
It happens.
No, I tell you, let's talk rumors here. I want to go back to this because I heard this last night, and my ears perked up. Is when I heard your number one Doug now, your new number one Doug. He mentioned he was going to be trying some new things and was awaiting some parts. Do you know have any insight into this, Jason?
Yeah, but that's seriously breaking the friendship agreement, the rules on that stuff. You're not gonna pull me. It'll be the first 8 turbocharged diesel super in the country when Doug gets done.
You signed an NDA with Doug. Huh?
It's 8 turbos. It's 8 turbos. He didn't want me to tell everybody, but he's putting 8 turbos on Scrappy next year. So
4 eBay turbos. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. 4-stage, 8 turbocharged. Yep.
Speaking of turbos, look at the screen there. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's good camera work there by Chandler Pickler of outlawpulling.tv at the Iowa State Fair.
Yeah.
Guess who just blessed us with our presence? Dun, da, da, da. Mark Ulmer.
Mark Ulmer. Hey, Mark. His name was mentioned a few times on your show last night.
He's kind of a legend. He's in that. So we're going to Esden's shop to do a Let's Grow Pulling. And we were going to do it last Monday, but Esden couldn't do it. We still finish up harvest and all that stuff. So we're going to get that done. And it's going to be awesome. Awesome.
Very cool. We'll be watching for sure.
Where is George Beyer at? Ron, what did you send me earlier? I'm sorry, I didn't post that yet.
Yeah, I sent you his photographic proof that he was working. He promised me last Tuesday that he would be on this week, and I told him I was putting it on the calendar. And I called Georgie yesterday and got no response. Called him and messaged him all day today. And yeah, he messaged me at 6:53 tonight with that picture.
I bet he was trying, though.
Yeah, I'm sure he was. And I had reached out to another potential guest just in case this were to happen, and never heard back from him. Trying to get all our points winners on here, and that's like pulling teeth sometimes, trying to get some of the guys on.
Well, my singer went right back to the shop after our interview last night. I know that. So everybody's busy. So I went to Iowa for Thanksgiving, Ron, and that's one of the states, where they start campaigning a lot earlier for president. I cannot freaking believe the amount of TV commercials for president I saw over Thanksgiving at my dad's house. It was insane. Just reminded me of what's coming. You know what I mean?
Tis the season, my friend. Tis the season.
Cole Sidecheck's checking in. He says, get Dustin Ryan Corliss on instead.
You think he's got a lot to talk about, Cole? I mean,
he's a cool dude.
We got Donald Nelson on. I mean, that was a feat in itself, getting him locked down. I mean, to come on the show, that was cool. I mean,
there's Georgie
Porgy. You pulled her name in his trailer for a show a couple of years ago. So,
yep.
Was that behind the helmet?
Behind the helmet, yep.
Series you were doing. So here's a rumor that the Zycheks are debuting a new two-wheel drive, running 3 two-wheel drives, chasing Outlaw points in 2024.
I heard that too. I heard Whitey went after another motor after Lufkin. That was what I heard. So this is an actual picture of George Beyer working. And that is not dirt, friends. That is not dirt. That is George works hard for a living. He showers when he gets home. He has to every night. So. It's Beyer's pumping service, right? Or Beyer's septic, or Beyer's pumping service, I think. So thank you, George. We appreciate you. Let's see here. Are there any new classes? Are there any new classes coming to the Outlaws, Ron? I don't know if we need any more classes, but do we have any new ones?
New classes, we're gonna try the 2.6 diesels, try to give them a decent schedule next summer, as well as light limited super stocks. We're gonna try to get them a limited schedule, at least get them a points series going for next summer. There's been some interest there. Potentially a sponsor for that 2.6 class. Wait a minute. He sent question marks and he said big things coming.
He said big things coming at 7:51, and then his timestamp at 7:52 was question mark. So maybe now he's being all coy. Now he's being all coy. Dustin Corliss says no, Cole Sidecheck. He does not want to be on the show.
Let's give Dustin a call. We probably should.
Mike Idle, Stone Schultz, 24. Okay, we can start that. So, he's talking about Dustin with big things coming. Oh, there's the rumor mill. Dustin's got big. So Dustin's going to campaign. Can you put more pull vehicles in the Nelson stable? So,
they have room for another mod in one of the trucks. Is that what?
Wayne, Nebraska, putting the same lights as Madison, South Dakota. So Mark Ham, those LED lights at Madison, South Dakota they're wild. I mean, they're awesome. And I knew Mark Ham taking pictures was just giddy. Like he probably would move there and just stay at the track if he could, not be called a squatter. If I'm saying so. Well, now they're infighting on our chat.
Shut up, Cole's eye check.
So there's something there. Where there's smoke, there's fire, Rod.
Well, Dustin, what I suggest is that you spill the beans on what's going on in the Zychek camp. So that's my suggestion.
They have Texas team meetings. You know that, right?
I'm sure. We speaking of Texas, well, here's a little rumor. Might be another outlaw poll in Texas in 2024. Just saying.
George, how is your new George Beyer or not George Tristan Myers? How's your new dartboard? I want to know how that's going. Your new dartboard.
Is he the one that won that dartboard?
You don't win those. You buy them, Ron. Those aren't winning.
Well,
winning is when they say, "Hey, they pull your ticket." That's winning. This is you. He
was awarded with the winning bid. How about that? Is that better?
For the kids. Yeah. Putting up new lights in Wayne, Mark Ham. Ooh, there you go.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Cool.
12 classes in Wayne next year.
For real?
12 classes, yeah. Pro stocks will be there. Yeah.
What classes did they add, Ronald?
Pro stocks. I think we had 11 there last year, didn't we? Kevin's on here. He'll by the time I go digging for it, he'll put the answer up there. But yeah, 12 classes in Wayne. I think Pro Stock was the only new one that was added, I think.
Yeah, Kevin Davis says yes. Zychek's not an easy name to pronounce. I mean, if you would have saw that for the first time, Zajichek, how would you say that?
I would say Zajichek if I would have been, told how to say it. But Josh Mazier, there's another one.
Yep. Mazur.
Nope, it's Mazier. M-A-Z-U-R.
But I know that from listening to you announce tractor pulls and truck pulls.
Yeah, Texas. I'm actively working on a new 2-day event in Texas. That will potentially be the weekend before White Right.
Ooh.
Two night events in a row in Texas. A Texas two-step, if you will, Jason.
Yeah, I see what you did there, because I'm talking side check, Texas two-step.
Texas two-step, 2 weekends in a row, 2 night pulls. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be fun to see when Louisville gets their out. If they're how many outlaw pullers? I don't know how many outlaw pullers applied. I know for you that have, maybe you guys haven't done this yet, you didn't know about it. The full pull app is they're having a contest. You basically guess who's getting invited to Louisville, and whoever guesses the best. That's my proper English for the night, Ron. Whoever guesses the best wins free tickets to Louisville. So that's pretty cool. So Cole Sidecheck's happy tonight.
He likes that name, I think, the Texas two-step. I think that's what he was.
We went to Lufkin, obviously, for Outlaw TV, and then Chandler McKenzie went to Right, and you went down there. And I said, man, it's a long ways down to Texas, but don't ever say that around the Texas people that come north every weekend. But the joke is, once you hit the Texas border, you got 8 more hours to go wherever you're going. So,
yeah, I told Cameron Neves, he hardly ever makes it to Ravenna. I told him if we got another pull in Texas next summer, he has to come to Ravenna to start the season off.
Is that Dustin Ryan Corliss right there on the screen?
No, that should be Edwin Anderson. Yep. And sometimes one of Ray and Ginger's boys will drive that two-wheeler.
Okay.
That should be Edwin Anderson.
It is. That's what Outlaw TV said there. So Mike got a tentative schedule to start looking at announcing and helping with Outlaw TV. So that's what tentative means, Michael. Michael, he's a teacher. He wants to have his schedule done, by the end of the year. So,
well, Michael,
you never know what's going to happen. How about
there's
that?
a lot of moving pieces still. It's like last night, I was on the phone with Norfolk, Nebraska. For those folks in Nebraska, Norfolk. And they're possibly moving to the 21st of June. So still, stuff being moved around, shuffled around a little bit. And like I said, might still be a couple more pulls added. One in Texas and potentially a 2-nighter in Kansas. That's all I'm going to say about that. Yes, Wisner will be 3 days again.
Yeah, it worked good. They just got busted by heat last year. I mean,
Saturday was a little long, yeah.
And the heat was horrible.
Now I don't know where you were on the Friday night, Jason. Maybe it was Thursday night. Maybe
I had my grandma's funeral.
We were it was in discussion, late night discussions with the Wisner crew, and Chase was part of that. Maybe it was Friday night, and we're talking about at the banquet.
You're talking about the banquet this year.
Yes.
Yes.
I think it was Friday night.
I was in bed.
And we were right. We were pushing the possibility of Wisner moving their date.
So it wasn't on top of Bowling Green.
So it wasn't on top of Bowling Green.
Yeah, that's what Chase was telling them.
And we were just imagining all the pullers from back east that would show up at Wisner if it wasn't on Bowling Green. That's a tough slot, to be, if you're trying to promote a football game the same day as the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? It's very comparable, I think.
Yeah, it is.
That's an old Zychek truck talking about the Texian.
So
I'm assuming.
I like calling the Zycheks the Z-Checks instead for the rest of our lives, Ron. I'd like to have a vote because we named the Omer Mafia. We really haven't come up with. We kind of went Median Motorsports for a while.
See that tire right there on the screen?
That's fun.
That big Titan tire right there.
Yes, sir.
That about.
You see Gary Barrett's shiny head?
Yeah, that tire that about gave me a hernia this past summer when I was loading and unloading it. If you see one of those for sale on Facebook or Craigslist anytime soon, let us know.
Yeah, ours was stolen.
Yeah.
One Ron's trailer got robbed.
Yeah, somebody put the 5-finger discount on it.
Yes, they did. And your
Along
generator.
with a big Schaefer oil barrel as well. So I'm sure they didn't know what those were, but
It's probably a competing pulling association trying to steal your sponsor's run. So they're like, oh, we already have your barrel. So
yeah. Well, they got a couple decent generators and my tools as well.
yeah.
So what else is in the rumor mill out there? I want Dustin or Cole to kind of spill the beans here. Come on. Give us a hint. Dustin. I mean, if it's something really big, I'm thinking mod tractor. Jason, you care to speculate on this?
Here it comes. Dustin Corliss says Cole Saycheck maybe on mod class. In the mod class is what Dustin meant. Dustin starts drinking at 4 on Tuesdays to get ready for Outlawed Live with Ron Stone. Many people. I actually checked, Ron. Alcohol sales are up on Tuesdays now that your podcast is pretty popular. So
I wait till 7 till we first go live, and then I start.
So when somebody says Tito's and soda, what's the soda that they put in it, Ron, at the bar?
Yeah, it's just like basically seltzer with no taste. Yeah, I don't know how you can make it.
My spirit animal is Bert Kreischer, the comedian, the machine.
Okay.
And I listened to his podcast, Two Bears in One Cave, him and Tom Segura. And he was talking about that you can drink Tito's and soda, and it won't help you. You won't gain weight doing it. So Tito's and soda. I started back on my diet after.
I'll go ahead and take the weight. I can't drink Tito's and soda.
What is Tito's and soda? Hey,
well, a lot of bartenders will, when I say Tito's and 7, they assume I said soda.
Yeah.
So, and I've been served that several times, and it's.
Hey, Sarah, what's the Tito's? What's the soda and Tito's when I say Tito's and soda? Honey? Sarah? My wife's not listening. Cole Sidecheck says, I can't afford them tires. Already had to buy new 2-wheel drive tires. Ron, I think Tito's should sponsor the Outlaws. Have you tried that yet?
Tried. Yeah.
To get Tito's to sponsor the Outlaws?
Yeah, couldn't get in. I sent messages to email addresses. I had gotten far enough to figure out it was somebody there, but never could actually speak to anyone. So, yeah, though I talked to, what is it? Methanol Moonshine there right after Spencer. Talked to them a little bit. They're kind of upstart. That Methanol Moonshine is distilled right there in Spencer, actually. So you never know. Maybe a year or two, might be able to bring them on board. They're big into IMCA race cars. The guy that actually owns the company is an announcer, and he's from Australia, and he announces some IMCA races. So pretty cool connection there.
Heck yeah.
See, now they're just fooling about. See, they're just trying to throw us off. Dustin saying Cole looked good in the new mod called the Texas Two-Step.
Cole said he can't afford the tires, had to get new 2-wheel drive tires. Chris Slaughter says fizzy water, add a lime to it, and it goes down easy.
I don't know, Chris.
So just Tito's and a lime is what you're saying, Slaughter?
The whole lime, maybe. Yeah. Or maybe cut
now
in half.
Now I want to have a drink. So I love this. Cole Sidecheck is logging out. The Z-Check's logging out.
Well, that's no fun.
Do an outlaw pull in Minnesota. Ooh, Mark.
Minnesota.
Now we're talking.
Well, Mark, we had a poll contact us from Minnesota last year at this time, but where they wanted to have the poll, we couldn't do it. We were booked. So
Coors Light would be a good sponsor. Outlaws, the farthest western pulling circuit anyway. Get on that, Mike. Send us some stuff.
Yeah. Jump on that, buddy.
I can. I'll send you here. I can send you the package. We're right there. It's on my little handy dandy outlaw thumb drive there. Check that out. That's how detailed Van Beek is. That right there holds the sponsorship forms.
Kurt sends me like 1,000 of those every fall.
Yep.
I mean, they're like falling out of my pockets. I step out of my Jeep and they fall out of the door on the ground. They're like everywhere.
Bentley Fry. Yes, I know Ethan Fry well. I live in Richland Center, Bentley, and that tractor has been to Richland Center many times.
Boscadell.
Yeah, just down the road. Oh, you said it right too, Ron. I'm kind of proud of you. So,
I think I've heard it pronounced before, so
yep.
Give me too much credit.
Well, Ron, we've taken up an hour of these people's times.
No
we
way.
Appreciate them. That was a good hour. That was a good hour of nonsense, but a fun hour. So we had some great Outlaw pulling TV playing in the background. I'm appreciative of that.
Yeah. What's funny is I had some things I was going to talk about, and I didn't even get to talk about it. We'll talk about it next week, though.
But just let's keep jamming, everybody. You can still watch outlawpulling.tv all winter long. The banquet was fantastic. It was great to see everybody. You're going to see social media with a lot of pictures and video from the banquet going up. We're going to space that out to kind of get us through the winter, if you will. Mackenzie's working on all of that. And then, hope PRI, hope we get to meet a bunch of you down there, potentially talk to some new sponsors for the Outlaws down there as well. If you are going to PRI, make sure you stop by.
Absolutely.
We're going to have some Outlaw calendars to hand out down there at the tractors. Again, we're in Lucas Oil Stadium. So the show's on the floor, like the big convention center, if you will. Then you walk down a hallway down to Lucas Oil Stadium. So we're going to be out there with all the toters and, like those $1 million Renegade toters and stuff like that. Maybe we get Kurt to get us one of those, Ron.
That'd be nice. Yeah. I went to PRI in 2019. And I was there for 2 or 3 days, and I didn't even make it into the stadium.
Somebody said they're racing go-karts around the football stadium.
I heard that. That's great.
Somebody said not to park my tractor on the end. So I'll have to check that out.
If you end up getting on a go-kart and going for a ride, make sure you video that. We want to see.
Oh, yeah. No, that's content. That is content. Right there's our super modified two-wheel drive truck champion. Yep. One of the 5 Texans, the top 5 spots in super modified two-wheel drive. They had a great season.
Now, how cool was that, though, Jason? I mean, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
no, I do it to you all the time. It's all good.
To have the final for the two-wheel drive and the modifieds that literally came down to the last hook of the season in Texas, ended with a 2 Texas final in the two-wheel drive and a Texas Iowa final in the mods, I thought that was super cool, and it was so close. Either one of them could have won going into Saturday night. So
it was awesome.
That was pretty sweet.
It was awesome.
And that poll is getting huge. I hope people don't get tired of me talking about that Lufkin poll, because it's
awesome.
Just watched it grow, man. Just watched it grow year after year. Whoa, here's our.
Friends, my internet friends, if you fall for stuff like this, I said this earlier in the show, but if you fall for stuff like this, you should have your internet taken away. Like the internet police should just come and say, don't be a Dumas, and don't. She's not a real person. Erica weighs 497 pounds. She's in a hut in Bemidji, and
has a beard.
She's trying to get you to go to her OnlyFans, and it's not even her. Now she's going through it, Dustin. Now she's gonna pick on Dustin Ryan Corliss.
Dustin, look out, buddy.
Ron, what is it about your podcast that we get all these?
I don't know what it is. I draw in the unsavories, I guess. I don't know. Except for Eric Claypool, he's my biggest.
Dustin Ryan, it's my pleasure meeting you here on. I just viewed your profile. I find it lovely and interesting, and I'd like to become friends with you.
I will like to
be rude to you or encroach on your profile. I just want to be friends. Yes, she does, Dustin. That's why I'm asking your permission. Can we be friends? If your answer is yes, please kindly send me a friend request. Thank you and stay safe. Then they steal your Facebook page.
That sounds very inviting to me.
Yep. The fact that she said,
Dustin,
meeting you here on, that's good. So.
Isn't that a city in Canada somewhere?
Huron.
South Dakota. Huron. South Dakota.
One of the Great Lakes. Huron.
Yeah, Lake Huron or Huron, South
Cole
Dakota.
Sidecheck says she likes the heavy mods. So I like that. Mark Ulmer, it must be Ron's hair. Ooh, you're a good-looking man, Ron. I'm not into dudes, but you're a good-looking dude. So
I was sporting my new Case IH hat last week.
I like it.
I picked up at the Case Experience Center, up the Case IH Experience Center.
Yep.
What was I going to say? I was going to say something. It was really enlightening and interesting, and I can't remember what it was.
I'm sure. You should write down all your fantastic thoughts on a piece of paper. Oh, we're mean to each other. I love it.
Oh, goodness. No, the girl last week that was trolling
Lane.
Wasn't her last name Luis, Luiz? And I thought, that doesn't sound Italian. It's not Italian, is it? That's Spanish, right? I don't know. Somebody schooled me. I thought that maybe she's Spanish and lives in Italy. I guess that's possible.
Right. It's possible. Anything's possible.
99 comments tonight. That's pretty cool.
Well, half of them are side-checked and coreless picking on each other. Yeah. Just kind of throw that out.
Those guys, they have cell phones. They could probably just talk to each other.
Yeah, but it's more funner online. More funner.
Very cool. All right, buddy.
Good.
Yeah. It was a fun show, even without a pulling guest here. Cole is psyched for 2024. And, dude, you mentioned a few minutes ago, and I thought about that. You said that the Pullers Championship they have till the end of the year.
Yes.
It's like, what, 33 days from now? Man.
Yeah, it's like we say it like it's some big, long window.
I was like, wait, the end of the year? That's like, oh, that's just like 4 or 5 weeks. Yeah.
Schultz, are you bringing – Schultz being you already bring back Jungle Juice. Oh, I love it. I love it, Mark. Yes, Corliss. We had 2 slices of pizza left out of all those pizzas, Dustin, Sunday morning. So I
there were 2 pieces that went back to my room.
Yep. I gave the bartender my credit card and my phone and said, call Domino's. And she did. And they delivered it. It was awesome.
It hit the spot, though, buddy. I will tell you that.
It was. It was good. Yeah, when Mike said we need to have a banquet every month, I was like, dude, I can't afford that. I'd have to really behave. So.
I spent way too much money at the bar.
You and me both.
I brought Tito's with me, even.
Yeah.
And
to the bar?
No, to my room. And I was like, I'm set. But somehow
Yeah, Dustin, we got it in right before 1. That's when they closed. It was right at 1 o'clock. So we got lucky. Yep, it was a good time. Ray Miller hung out with us to the bitter end. I remember seeing Ray.
He did.
Yep.
He was jovial, happy, winning that point.
He won a point championship. He's
cool.
a champ.
I talked to Ray today, actually.
I talked to Ray today.
I did.
Is that right?
Ray and I conversed this afternoon.
Conversed. Big words. Big words, Ron.
Well, I had to chat with him a little bit because the other pull in Texas is within about an hour of their event. And
okay.
The week before, and I just, wanted to make sure that they were good with that. Some promoters might have fear of them taking pullers or spectators away from their event, but no, he said they were good to go. I think it'd be better for both events because it's going to be double the promotion. So,
agreed.
There's last week's guest, our Rookie of the Year, Lane Paulson. I saw, have you ever seen the movie 16 Candles?
Yes.
The other night that came on over the holidays, it came on, and I found myself watching that movie. And of course, when I was a kid, I seen it hundreds of times. And Anthony Michael Hall, every time I looked at him, I thought, that's Lane Paulson. Kind of looks like Lane Paulson a little bit.
No, it does. It really does. Yeah, when he got to date the older girl, the senior.
Yeah, he got the hot girl in the end.
Yeah, way to go, Lane.
Heck yeah.
No, that was fun having Lane and Lauren on. Well, good job with your guests, Ron. We appreciate it. So, thanks for watching, everybody. Tonight, we appreciate you.
Hey, Jason. Wait a minute.
It was kind of a run what you brung show tonight. You know what I'm saying? It was very, but we appreciate everybody chiming in. Still had good numbers watching, so I don't think we scared everybody away, Ron. So.
I was just going to say we were going to bring George Beyer on tonight, but oddly enough, we've ran out of time. So we'll have to bring George back next week and give it a shot next week. So I think I've got Wes Severs on next week too. So,
but he did win the Iowa State Fair. So, I mean, we are showing his video. So that's all good.
Yeah.
So.
So, yep, George, we'll see you next week, buddy. Hopefully you're ready to go next Tuesday at 7. Everybody, thanks for watching. Jason, thank you for all you do for pulling.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, everybody, for watching and tuning in to Outlawed Live. See you next Tuesday at 7.